Chris, how about over at the Department of Navy? You all are up to a lot of things going on over there. Very complex environment. We're hearing about the enduring telework apparatus that you're rolling out, et cetera, et cetera. Give us the state of zero trust at the Department of Navy. I can't imagine that that's not a framework that is very much embraced at that capability, being that you're so complex.
Yeah, and not only embraced, now directed at some point.
Okay.
If for those of you tracking what's happened within the Department of Defense, principally around COVID and pushing people outside of our environments, one of the things we found almost immediately was our capacity, through VPNs, just to try and keep everybody teleworking at home. It's just, we choked on it very, very quickly. So as we tried to, introduce more capacity, of course, we came up with this construct of this commercial virtual response, this CVR environment that Microsoft helped us get to, where we were going to allow people to connect directly from their devices, whether it was government furnished equipment or personally owned devices, from wherever they are directly to the environment without going through any security stacks. Well, immediately we were, that was this idea behind getting to a zero trust construct, which was actually directed by US Cyber Command. They pushed out a planning order to each of the services to say, hey, come up with a use case where you can roll a zero trust environment out to support whatever. So in the Navy's case, we chose the reserve community and sort of like the recruiters community, because they're traditionally lived outside the DoD and to begin with. I mean, they spent almost their entire careers to one degree or another, not within a controlled environment. So we said a perfect use case. And actually they were pretty advanced when it came to it already, because it was the way it's just the way they were stood up to begin with. So the Navy's zero trust construct was principally using one vendor. So we went kind of with this all Microsoft solution to demonstrate that we could set up a zero trust environment. The Army chose a little bit of a different, combination of tools. The Air Force yet again chose a little bit different way of doing it. What we demonstrated is we could really establish a very secure, almost overly secure environment that we could put users in it in the zero trust environment. The guys at NCDoc and Navnet Warcom could almost monitor every keystroke. I mean, it really was connecting people with the information they needed to have in a in a secure way. Because one of the buttons that we pushed, and I say we pushed the believe button when we stood up the CVR environment, is we knew in the beginning it was inherently an insecure environment. But the ability to get people teleworking and to sort of get out of the threat zone of COVID, do all the things that we needed to do to enhance social distancing and just kind of get people out of the buildings, we had to weigh that with their ability to be productive. So the CVR environment was this thing that we came and said, hey, we're going to accept a certain amount of risk in this environment because it's not perfect. It's not exactly what we would want. But the idea is to do that and then to transition to the zero trust environment to continue to facilitate this telework. And I think one of the encouraging things that we're finding because of constructs like zero trust, and zero trust really is a construct, it's not a product or, although there's lots of companies that would like to make you believe it's a product. And the other big thing that we're trying to figure out is for, the Navy, the Department of the Navy being this massive thing, well, not everybody's going to be able to necessarily be within this Office 365 environment to have that zero trust capability. So in other instances, we got to think about how to architect our zero trust a little bit differently. And what we're finding is the cornerstone of that is identity. So we're really kind of pushing an identity strategy through the department because, for us to really get to a true zero trust environment, you need identity. Where in the Microsoft environment, it's provided for us by Microsoft. We use sort of an identity construct provided to us in that environment. So that requirement is satisfied where for those people who are going to have to live outside of that Microsoft environment, well, now we got to come up with another way to ensure their identity is solid and then, architect it. But the idea over time is to migrate to some form of the M365 setup. And so far, we've been very happy with it. Fleet Cyber is really the guys that have the rose pinned to their chest to sort of execute the plan org, and they're doing a great job of it. So, yeah, we're really happy so far.